Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. The splendor that is fall, a season of celebration where magnificent hardwoods outline the horizon in colors almost impossible to describe. Massive trees deeply rooted in Georgia's soil that once began as little more than an acorn or a start from a cutting. Now, huge, spectacular oak trees for all to enjoy. Consider this as I wax poetic. Much like the wonder of fall is the wonder of how to start a new technology company and to help it to grow into a major economic development for our state's future economy. TAG calls it economic gardening. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 16, 2010, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mandela. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. We continue our Tech Talk focus on the rapidly growing TAG Economic Gardening Initiative in Savannah as we visit yet another innovative Georgia-based company headquartered in that city and ready for high growth. Evoca, a software company that is a leading global provider of web-based and mobile voice and video services. We meet its founder and CEO, Murem Sharpe, a stellar 30-year career as a marketing executive and general manager with global technology products and services, as well as startup technology ventures. Murem is a graduate of Cornell University and holds an MBA from Yale Management School. She has served in national leadership positions with professional, university, and nonprofit organizations and has been a lecturer and a speaker at university, business, and professional events throughout the United States and around the globe. From tiny acorns grow giant oaks, the splendor of the fall season, and the splendor in taking a startup to high growth. As we go live to Savannah to her very own economic garden as we meet Murem Sharpe, CEO of Evoca. Murem, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you.
Well, I think that many of us are aware of what you've been doing and doing some creative things down in Savannah, but why don't we start out by telling some of our listeners a little bit about what Evoca is and maybe a little bit about its history.
Sure thing. Evoca makes it easy for anyone to record their voice and now also video and put it out on the wires. It started the day that I guess I had a bit of a brainstorm about the use of the phone, and I said, hey, why can't we use this phone as a microphone and recorder and put it online and make the recordings available? So that's the beginning of Evoca. It was around that idea of turning a phone into a microphone.
Now, you're pretty pioneering. I'm guessing, if I remember correctly, it was around 2006 when you first started. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's when we launched our first public version of Evoca in March of 2006.
You know, a lot of us, the speed of change has happened so quickly and things get adopted so fast, embraced so fast that we forget how pioneering just 2001, 2002, 2003, some of these technologies weren't capable of, and certainly the quality wasn't there, and some of the application technology where you can leverage it in so many different ways and use it in so many different ways has really been evolving along with your evolution as a company.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you may recall, even Skype was quite new back then. And so not only did we make it possible to use any phone, a landline or mobile phone, as a recorder, but we also made it possible to record Skype calls. And Skype was quite the young company back in 2006 as well. And it's so true that we have, in a very directed way and also opportunistic way, taken advantage of the new technologies as they become available.
Well, now, go into a little bit about being a technology-based company in Georgia. You know, do you feel from a CEO standpoint, from an entrepreneur standpoint, role that Evoca plays as far as Georgia and maybe even beyond?
Yes, I think Georgia has been a good place to be the home of Evoca. Certainly, whatever talent we needed was here, either in Savannah or within Georgia or the region. As you know, a startup need not have a big team. At first, we needed certainly the Java developers who helped develop our 300,000 lines of Java code that's in our Evoca platform.
You've actually counted them.
Well, yes, for copyright. You have to. That's how you do it. And then also we had very good front end and visual design talent again right here in Savannah, as well as the greater region around us. So it's worked out quite well. And we've been a member company of the Georgia Tech Advanced Technology Development Center, and through that also been a TAG member almost from the outset.
Well, that's a good segue, because one of the things that we are focusing on with this edition of Tech Talk and have for the last couple of weeks is on the economic gardening initiative that's coming out of Savannah. Tell us how Evoca is involved with that.
Yes, well, by now, Evoca is considered a growth company. We're beyond the high-risk, painful startup phase, and we have revenue, we have products, we have customers, and now we need to grow. And we have plans to grow in a way that will add jobs, and the jobs we intend to keep largely here in Georgia. So along came our good friends at TAG with the Economic Gardening Project, and they said, what would be the best way for you to leverage the very high caliber professionals who can deliver services through the gardening program? So we said, well, your timing's perfect. We are going to be launching a web-based video studio called Evoca Video Kit, and we want to aim it initially at online video advertising programs run by print and radio and TV companies. So we need your help to identify who they are, where are they, right on down to lead generation. So that's exactly what we're doing with the gardeners right now.
That's great. How long has it been? Is this just a recent occurrence, or has there been enough time to get any feel for how it's going?
Well, here's how it began, and this is typical of any technology venture or adventure. Going back about 3+ months ago, we were almost ready to launch the video kit, as we call it, and then we decided to do a bit of polishing. So the economic gardening team did some initial work out in looking at the markets and lists and so forth. But then we actually asked them to pause for a while until we actually launched Video Kit publicly, which we did just about barely a month ago. So we rejuvenated the project, and the team now is generating exactly the results that we need, which is lead generation. And even as we speak, posted on the Ning site that they put together for us, the lists are starting to arrive.
Great. That's great. That's great. Well, one of the things that I've often told my clients that if you're going to sell technology, use technology. So why don't we have a little fun with our listeners, and why don't you go ahead and engage Evoca the same way you would or as a client would as far as connecting to the system?
Sure. I'm going to add in the Evoca. It's actually adding in another line, like three-way calling. And, Frank, I'll need you to entertain for just a moment or two while I bring it in. And on purpose, I'm going to actually bring it in while it's playing the greeting, okay?
Very good. Well, what's so funny is that I often break into Some Enchanted Evening, or maybe get into When the Moon Hits Your Eyes Like a Big Pizza Pie.
Perfect. Okay, here we go.
I would have done that back in the day when it didn't mean logistics, I think now it's a case where if you start singing When the Moon Hits Your Eyes, I get a feeling of having to deliver a package overseas.
Okay, get ready.
Okay. So I count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
After the beep, and hang up when you're done. Press any key for more options when you have completed your recording.
Hello again, Frank. I think you heard the greeting.
Well, so now let's see if I got the surreal situation going on here, and that is you're capturing my audio as I'm capturing your audio so that we can, at some point, podcast this out to the world.
Absolutely. I think you'll probably do some polishing. I usually just put it out as is, but I know you'll put some, an intro on yours and also capture the first part of our conversation.
Well, this will go probably a good time to go into what voice and video, web, and mobile services do you deliver today? You mentioned briefly about the video kit, but maybe describe, not in tremendous detail, but kind of that proverbial 40,000-foot overview.
Sure. Yes, we make it easy to record voice and video and get it out there online on your website, on Facebook or YouTube. We started with voice, and that's what we're using right at the moment, the Evoca Express. Of course, I have my own subscription, and that's the one I'm using. It's just going to end up in my own account.
One of the things that I've also been intrigued by is the speed of innovation and the challenge of semantics. We don't seem to be able to have the words to describe all the innovation that keeps surfacing over and over again. And obviously, we've gone through this whole YouTube, social media situation now. I wouldn't call it a trend. It's obviously pretty much a way of doing business. I heard a new one now, and it's called unmarketing. And I think that is really where I can understand and see how your tools can be used, and that is really not only from the advertising space where publishers can use it the way you're talking about it, but also the ability for every single corporation to start producing their own content like we're doing here today. The ability to unmarket, if you will, meaning not use traditional thought and traditional marketing methods, but actually create and produce your own content with the idea of creating your own media. So
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm stepping on the thunder of the future objectives, but maybe we can touch upon, and I always love talking to innovators and visionaries like yourself, and say the great question, what's ahead? What do you see as the future objectives for Evoca?
Absolutely. Well, we jumped on the phone and Skype, and then it morphed itself into the smartphone, and then the smartphone became, in and of itself, the iPhone and the Android platforms, which turned them into video recorders and players. So riding that wonderful wave, we said, hey, how can we enter video and do it in a way that takes advantage of our voice technology? So lo and behold, we have launched Evoca Video Kit, which makes it easy for anybody to upload and use existing video and audio, but also to create voiceovers. And you know what? Here's a little secret. Even if you don't have any video clips, just upload a half a dozen photos, and then right online, using our online recorder or the phone, you can create a voiceover. And before you know it, you have your own Ken Burns documentary or ad or whatever the case may be. It's a video file.
Absolutely.
And then you can just click and publish it to your Facebook and your YouTube, and of course have a file for your own website. So that's what we've moved into, is the video side.
Well, as a blatant selling opportunity, what's your URL, and how do we make contact with you if we're interested in finding out more?
Sure. Our main site is evoca.com, and then /voice takes you into our voice products, and video takes you into our video kit. So it's evoca.com /video if you're interested in what I was just talking about.
Well, and I have a feeling many of us will. We're kind of kindred spirits. We follow a lot of the same concepts and ideas. Murem, I've watched you take an acorn and turn it into a giant oak, and congratulations on both your entrepreneurial success and your innovative vision. And also, thank you for joining us today on Tech Talk.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Thank you, Frank.